Welcome to the podcast, sir. So,
Thank you.
before we begin with Plan C, what's one moment in your leadership journey that made you realize culture is not a soft topic?
So, Riddhi, thank you for having me. And in today's context, and even if we take a context of how we want to create a very vibrant and very inspiring workplace, culture takes a very important, I will say, focus. While it has been one of the talking point in the boardroom and also during a lot of senior leadership discussions, reviews. But when it comes to the operationalizing this particular aspect, I think culture always take a very, I was a backseat, or there is a lot of blurred vision around this word called culture. It's very loosely used. And most of the time, it is, I will say, interchangeably used with behaviors or values
Correct.
or some of the, I will say, ideal things to be done or good to have things to be
Confused
done.
with the morals.
Yeah, with the morals, with ethics. So that's what I'm saying. It's a very loosely used term. And since I've been there in the corporate world for last almost what, touching 3 decades, I realized that this is one of the, I will say, roots of, or I will not even call it roots, I will call it the seed of uh, creating a sustainable, vibrant, inspiring, productive, profitable, when it even talks about cash profit driven organization or
Correct.
enterprise or startup, or even it can be applied from a context of a nation and even from a global, you can say, standpoint. What kind of globe we want to create, what kind of nation we want to create, what kind of enterprise we want to create, what kind of startup I want to create. Everywhere, this particular thought process applies. So it's a seed. So if
Correct.
you put a healthy seed, Riddhi, you will get a healthy roots, you will get a healthy plant, and further that will grow into a healthy tree, and then it will bear healthy fruit with healthy seeds. So it's a full cycle.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah, no, so that's it's a very, very realistic standpoint. So while I'm giving a metaphor and analogy, but from a standpoint of any small startup to a large conglomerate, when I say seed, it is basically what are those non-negotiable test, I will say, the credo or the behaviors of the organization, which will be role modeled by the senior leadership of the team or the enterprise or the nation, or for the from a global leader standpoint, the global leaders, which will create a, a sustainable, growing, inspiring, vibrant, I would say vibrant, you can say, workplace or a
Hmm.
work environment where from a small unit of the workmen to the large unit of being a, say, for example, head of department or CXO, everybody is driven by that particular non-negotiable
Negotiables.
behavior, which then further create a consequence-driven, you can say, work environment,
Hmm.
which ensures that irrespective of people leaving or they move out the enterprise, or even the promoter is no more, for example, the entire this particular seed continue to germinate more seeds and more trees and grow more, you can say, healthy fruits, which further you can say build, you can say, a kind of a chain reaction,
Hmm.
right? And that's how the Plan C cover is also. There is a domino effect which is shown in the cover. That domino effect happens then, right? Even a single, you can say, peg can then change the entire way the organization operates, and that brings a kind of a, I will say, a kind of a reference point in the organization, which ensure that whether we are chasing cash profit, whether we are chasing revenue, whether we are chasing being the top three organization in the world in whichever field you are, or we want to create a great nation for people, or we want to create a globe which is more peaceful and more humane to people to grow and live together, which is not today happening because of only one value which I think all the people are chasing, which is greed, right? So what is the outcome of greed we are seeing today? The world is at turmoil. While if you would have, you can say, made, for example, coexistence as our non-negotiable testament, we would have created a different kind of a globe and a different kind of nation or a different kind of enterprise. So culture to me is a non-negotiable behavior which create a consequence driven organization, and it always remains sustainable. It is not you can say become a very short term, you can say, vision or a goal which generally most of the leaders are chasing today.
Moving on to our next question. When you first thought about this book, what problem in organizations felt too urgent to ignore?
I'll try to give a different flip to this question from the context of that while working in across organization, across industry, across geography, I realized there are two type of mindset prevailing in the organization to drive the the goal or the result which or the vision which they have created, the senior leadership has created or the board has created. The number one mindset is plan A,
Mhm.
which is all about creating a great strategy, great business plan, and then focus on executing them at the best level possible with all the, you can say,
Available
monthly
resources.
reviews, quarterly reviews, weekly reviews, all kind of, you can say, system processes driven around making a great strategy and executing it to the best possible manner. So plan A is all about action. So that's the mindset I majorly found, almost like 95% of the senior leadership or the board for that matter. And today also this convention is existing. That's a travesty, but that's existing. It's the most comfortable, most convenient, you can say, approach.
Most known also.
And
Like this is what we
most known.
learn.
It's like done to death kind of a approach, I'll call it. The next mindset or a leadership style or a approach has, which I found during my tenure, and still keep you getting to know about it, is the plan B approach,
Mm.
wherein you are all about risk management, risk averse, backup. B stand for backup. So I will, if my plan A doesn't work, okay, do I have a backup plan?
Mm.
Can I mitigate all this risk? Can I have a mitigation plan of ensuring that all my risks are covered? Okay. Again, you will find 90 to 95% of people or leadership or board are mostly falling under these plan A and plan B. Hardly I found plan C or a culture driven leader or a leader who bring culture first and rest everything follows from there, right? In plan A and plan B, culture is a byproduct of the strategy. It's a byproduct of the entire operationalization of the strategy or execution of the strategy, or for that matter, your risk mitigation and risk management plan. Wherein in the plan C leadership, and I can one example which immediately comes in my head is Ratan Tata, if I have to quote.
Mm.
And if you see today the Tata Group, it is not known for the one of the best cash profit driven organizations. It is not known for being number one in this category, number two in this category, number three. No, they're not chasing always the numbers. While number is important, you cannot exist without cash profit. You cannot exist without ensuring that you're
Stay.
continue to grow and continue to achieve your numbers. Fine, but you cannot uh, be driven by always end. You have to also driven by the process to achieve that end, and whether that process is very, I will say, mature and very well tested and institutionalized and sustained, or it is very short term and very whimsical. No, So plan A and plan B are the, I think, is the kind of orientation which I was always subjected to, and that's where I always bring in this particular element of how we sustain plan A and plan B outcomes.
Mhm.
Okay, outcome of all these leadership style is to achieve that, uh, as I said, cash profit to revenue to ensure that we continue to achieve our numbers and grow and uh, have a great shareholder meetings, and we talk about, okay, we have created so much value for the shareholders or stakeholders. So when I said Ratan Tata lived by some of the non-negotiable core behaviors. And if we imagine Ratan Tata, we think of person who is very, very, I will say, transparent in his approach. So transparency is one of his fulcrum of his leadership style. Philanthropy, wherein how we can also take care of our people vis-a-vis keep achieving our growth and keep achieving our numbers and cash profit. Uh, we also just think of his humane element. He's quite humane when 2611 happens. How he took care of the families of the all the we can say victims,
Survivors.
survivors and victims also.
Okay.
So now that become the, I will say, credo of a Tata Group, because the chairman of the group is living those non-negotiable testaments or credo or behaviors in letter and spirit. He's not just talking. He's not giving lip service around it. He's not saying that, okay, let's focus on strategy of making Tata Group the number one group. He's saying we want to create a culture which then breed a strategy which then get executed to achieve all our business goals and targets. But then there is a culture goal also.
Mm.
The culture goal is that we create a very healthy, inspiring, transparent, philanthropic, and humane culture within the Tata Group, which then ensure that it remains beyond the promoters. Today, if you see the chairman of the Tata Group is who? Is a non-Tata. Okay, so that's the interesting part, that they created a culture where
People's organization, like Tata is people organization.
exactly. So and if we think of other group, for example, we can easily make out what image it creates. While they would be better in terms of profit, they might be better in terms of their numbers, but how they achieve that number is also important. What is important, but how is also very important. And how is where the culture comes
Mm.
in terms of it gives you, as I said, the rudders, or they gives you those anchors which you need to follow in order to ensure that the you can say your targets are continued to be achieved. Your
Right.
people always remain inspired to say that, okay, this is the organization where I want like to uh, not only work for my living or supporting my family needs,
But
but
also
also,
contribute.
yeah, also contribute, also feel uh, passionate about uh,
Giving.
giving my discretionary performance. Now, this is something which is very, very interesting, which I found hardly any person talking uh, across any leadership level or very, very senior level. There is something called discretionary performance inbuilt within the human capital, right? Machine has got a, as I said, the install capacity. Money has got its own, as I said, limitation in terms of how much it can grow, right? Technology has got its own limitation. There is nothing called unlimited limit, you can
Mm.
say. But human has got a discretionary performance that if it is he's inspired or she's inspired, she can deliver 300 to 500% result, and she can also go to minus if she is not, as I said,
Right.
emotionally, psychologically, and as I said, humanly connected with
Mm.
the goal, with the purpose, with the work environment, with the kind of behaviors being role modeled by his manager or his leader. Just check, also see from a nation's context today. Depending upon the leader, there is a either toxicity in the country, or there is a lot of vibrancy in the country.
Mm.
And I don't have to quote the names from the you can say largest democracy called US, where you have a kind of a leader who is changing his mind and his own
Yes, yes,
words
right.
every you can say second minutes. And what is the kind of outcome it is giving to the globe.
Mm.
So that is this so just by saying that, oh, culture is a softer aspect, okay,
Afterthought.
these behaviors are not relevant, these are all esoteric things, these are good to have, nice to have, these are all like balloon with the, as I said, helium gas into it, called utopia. Sorry, I think those people are living in that, as I said, bubble of, okay,
Mhm.
and that bubble got burst in the COVID, you can say, pandemic.
People rarely leave because of growth and salary. I think it's people who keep them connected to the organizations. Most of the times, there are of course exceptions, but if
Absolutely, absolutely. You. That's why people say, oh, this particular, and there are so many nowadays reels and examples you can see in the social media where, because of the toxic culture, people have left within few hours or few days of joining. Okay,
very true.
yeah, there are a very very interesting, funny. I think example I was what do you call reading in one of the organization. I don't want to name it. The manager fired the his direct reportee because he was too friendly, and
Okay.
he was spending more time with the other department people. See the travesty of what kind of uh, workplace we are creating. For what? What we are achieving out of it? Nothing. In that instant gratification of sadism. That's it. The sadism becomes a part of the culture. Sadism. See, my pleasure is your pain.
True, true.
Best of luck to such leaders. I
Com-
will not call leaders. I will call them managers. Very, very shoddy managers.
Coming to the next one, what kind of leader do you think will resonate the most with Plan C book? Someone struggling with culture or someone already investing in it?
So very interesting question, Riddhi. Very nice question you have asked. Now, I think we have already built a context by answering all the previous questions. Now you can easily make out, or even the viewers of this podcast will easily make out that now we can easily categorize this entire, you can say, type of functioning between a manager and a leader,
Hmm.
right? Leader is who leads, who challenge the status quo, who inspire, who doesn't have, you can say, any kind of biases or in terms of decision making, who takes the entire team along. These are the real leader in letter and spirit I'm talking. Now then, and these are very, very few. So I don't want to, what do you call, interchangeably use leaders with managers.
Okay.
99% people you will find managers. 1% is what I found leaders. Being a CHRO myself, worked for so many years across multinationals and transnational companies. Hardly you'll find 1% as leader, because those they fit into what I just mentioned, what leader does. He leads or she leads, right? Now, manager, what manager does? Manager is manipulative.
Mhm.
Managers believe in manipulation. Manager believes in politics. Manager believes in managing things by hook or crook. That's why you call manager managing,
Hmm.
right? So managers are all plan A and plan B, in my view. Plan C are the real leaders, which I said which fall with less than 5% today.
Mhm.
Okay, Ratan Tata I quoted. Okay, um, so from the context of a Plan C leader, he or she believes in completely revamping and improvising the existing way of working. He or she will always look from the lens of, am I adding value to what I got as a legacy?
Mhm.
And am I improving it as a legacy? Because whatever we are doing in a present status, or even from a context of future status, it is all about legacy which we are building. Now, legacies either can be cherished
Correct.
or can be, you can say, you can even complain about it, or you feel very bad about that particular legacy.
Mhm.
There are bad and good legacies, right? Now, leader will always driven by creating a plan C or a culture which will build a very, very strong, sustainable, positive, thriving legacy, which will give you more than what a plan A or plan B will achieve in terms of the cash profit. People
Correct.
generally say, oh, plan C will be only good in papers. No, sorry.
Mhm.
I have talked about in the book in with example, with the you can say process, with the mechanism by which you can ensure 3x to 5x cash profit compared to what a plan A and plan B will do with inconsistency. Plan C is more consistent.
Correct.
Okay. So a plan C leader will always remain invested, or in terms of one, looking at what are the current, you can say, set of behaviors which are being role model. Is very, very relevant?
Mhm.
Are they obsolete from the context of how they are inspiring all, you can say, a class of, you can say, people who are working? For example, what has been relevant for baby boomers is not relevant for Gen Z, for that matter.
Correct.
So, when I say the behaviors to be role model, which should inspire across the spectrum.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, for example, uh, if you're very ethical and you are very transparent, it will be
Correct.
cherished by across the spectrum.
Mhm.
Something is very, very universal. Integrity, for that matter. Everybody will cherish that, right? But if you believe in loyalty, a old school or a kind of a baby boomer, you can say, age group people who are late 40s, or so I don't want to brand anything, but they will still driven by loyalty. Okay,
Mhm.
if I loyal to my manager, if I'm loyal to my
They
bosses,
yeah, they
so
stick to what it is.
so if I'm loyal to the company, if I'm loyal to individuals, I will continue to get my salary, my promotion, my increments, right? Not relevant for today generations.
Mhm.
They don't believe in, oh, how long or what is my tenure in particular role or my organization. They will see what I able to contribute in the given time frame.
Correct. Correct.
Am I getting challenged? Am I getting stretched? Am I getting more learning than this fat salary? Okay. Am I getting variety? Am I getting diversity of exposure?
Mhm.
Am I getting something which I will see as a very, very hands-on learning, which I otherwise would not have got it.
When we talk about today's generation, as you mentioned, that 99% people are managers. There's 1% of who come into the leaders category. So I
Yes.
think most of the people start their career in the same path, like you, executive, managers, and then leadership positions. So do you think it is possible for people to, leave that the qualities of a manager and then become a leader, or it will still exist within them, like being a manager and not being able to balance out what is leadership and what is management. So how do people maybe keep that separate or get that separated from what they used to do?
So I think there has to be a very honest interaction with self, which is needed.
Mm.
Now, I'm talking very, very, you can say, philosophical thing, but it is very, very practical as well at the same time. Why so? Now, in the book also, kind of discussed and mentioned about it, and I basically got this metaphor in this entire, you can say, self interaction which I had, or self introspection which I had, or self reflection I call it,
Mm.
which is the best way of learning. Now, why I am in this job, or in this work, or in this role? Why? Simple question. Oh, and the obvious answers are obviously that, okay, I've done my education.
Mm.
This roles fit in line with my education. I want to build a career out of this particular education. I want to earn salary. I want to earn all the, you can say, uh, comfort through this salary. And then I want to lead a family and support, right? Very obvious answers, right? Point is it sustainable?
Okay.
Okay, because if you see the survey and data,
Mm-hmm.
there's significant burnout. Significant burnout. People have a lot of mental issues and mental health related issues. Not because there is a, you can say, that less uh, jobs, or less salary, or less comfort, or less. Uh, there is some level of disconnect happening. What
Okay.
is that disconnect? The disconnect is the question one need to ask is, and I also had asked myself and continue to ask, what drives me?
Mm.
What inspire me every day to do a particular work in the best possible manner, without any compromise, without any negotiation? Because compromise and negotiation are the disposition I'm demonstrating while doing a job, while earning a salary. Correct? So, earning salary, earning livelihood is my brain thing. Okay. Executing all the plans or action which I have
Mm.
decided to achieve that particular salary and promotion and growth is part of my body, right? My body does everything, right? My hands, my legs, right? And the emotional connect to what I'm doing every day, which inspires me, which drives me, which motivates me, which keeps me going, is a hard thing. Right? I'm connecting to the body now. Okay?
Yeah.
Brain thing, body thing, and your heart emotionally. But beyond that, I think we need to also get into another level, I will say, and it is important for everybody to achieve that level sooner or later
Mm-hmm.
in your career or in life, is purpose. What is the purpose of my life? What is the purpose of me being in this earth, or for that matter, in this role or in this job? Make it as micro as possible.
Microscope.
Purpose. It is beyond drive. It is beyond your, as I said, salary, compensation, promotion, level, position, designations. It is beyond that. Purpose. A purpose is go beyond your heart, which is soul. Okay, there's something we keep hearing once in a while. Oh, we have a soul, which
Mm.
is the body, which drives the brain, which drives the heart, which drives the. If soul is not there, you're dead. Right?
Correct.
Correct. It's not brain dead. It is soul dead.
Mm.
Okay. So, so are you driven by your top line? Are you driven by your bottom line? Or are you driven by your middle line?
Mm.
That's a term which I coined while doing this entire purpose-driven living, or purpose-driven enterprise, or purpose-driven team, or purpose-driven leader, is where your soul comes in. Which, because the purpose is to build a legacy and leave a legacy.
Correct.
How I will be remembered as?
Mm.
By my family, by my friends, by my colleagues, by my manager, by my organization, by my society. If these are the larger question I ask from a purpose standpoint, I'm enriching my soul. I'm
Mm.
building a legacy which is better than what I got when I was born, or when I got educated, or when I joined my first job. Till now, everything what we're doing is either it is driven by top line or bottom line or middle line. Middle line is more sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because middle line is your culture. This purpose-driven living, this purpose-driven leadership, this purpose-driven organization, this purpose-driven enterprise, this purpose-driven nation, this purpose-driven globe is what is Plan C crux. That's the soul of Plan C. That's the soul of any living organism. Only human has got this soul. Soul has there in all living beings. But only human beings has got that purpose in that soul to build a legacy. Plant cannot build a legacy. Tree cannot build a legacy.
True.
A kind of animals cannot build a legacy, but human can only have that legacy. Now that is a larger purpose of this book. That is beyond top line. That is beyond cash profit. That is beyond only behaviors which is role model by the leaders. And when I say middle line, when your heart stops, your brain stops, your body
Correct.
stops. Not vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
A brain dead person, heart can also run. Yes, right?
Correct.
So, so, so now the focus has to shift
Mm.
because all this while, all these last 150, 200, 300 years, still today, with all AIs coming in, all your what do you call chatbots, chat GPTs, and all, whatever what do you call growth we have achieved in the technology space, still we are still creating all the technology around brain. There is no technology driven through heart. There is no technology driven through soul. No technology is building a legacy. No chat GPT is being created,
Mm-hmm.
or artificial intelligence or even super intelligence is being created today by human who should be driven by soul and plan C leadership. There is nothing still. So still what we are doing is chasing that plan A. Still we are chasing the plan B. That's a travesty and high time we shift our, you can say, paradigm. We shift our focus from being a plan A or plan B manager to plan C leaders. High
That's
time.
quite and detailed and informative, I would say, like a very thought-provoking answer that you've given right now.
No, these are my ideas to Mr. What do you call, promoter of chat GPTs and Musk and everybody. That boss, high time you start creating artificial intelligence which can build a legacy
Mm-hmm.
which will be remembered even that person is not there in physical form. Can you create that kind of a intelligence?
Coming to our next question, if a leader reads only one chapter and stops, what kind of decision do you hope it influences them to take next?
You're talking from a context of the Plan C, right?
Correct.
Book.
Yes.
No, so the interesting part of the book is Plan C, and I'm not overselling it, and because for me this is my reflection of my soul, okay, my experience, my hands-on journey which I had across so many, you can say, roles and enterprise and geographies and culture where I worked, um, and all kind of good and bad, we can say, managers and culture I've been through. Uh, the each and every chapter is a kind of a one, what do you call, self-sustain in itself,
Mm.
but at the same time it's a built up. It's in have got a umbilical cord across all the chapters. Okay?
Okay.
It's like it's
Interconnected.
interlinked. It is interlinked. It's not a standalone, but it is self-sustained for sure.
Mm.
Number two, every chapter ends with a how you can operationalize the learning.
framework.
A small, you can say, nuggets which are mentioned in the last
Hmm.
part of the chapter with three columns. What you should stop from tomorrow
Hmm.
in order to live that learning of that chapter. What you should start from tomorrow or now to implement two or three learnings from that chapter, and what you should continue to do, which you're already doing, and which is now you're getting further reinforced through the learning of this particular chapter. So these are the three things which is very actionable, very, very simple, very, very specific, very, very doable, which I try to kind of summarize at
Hmm.
the end of each chapter,
It's quite
which will
thought.
which will help them to one uh, have that kind of you can say self confidence that it's not just a kind of academic reading or a theoretical you can say
Theory or
gratification. It's not just a
philosophy. It is
simple gratification of okay, I've read Plan C. No, you can operationalize it. You can become a Plan C
very
champion.
important.
You can become that Plan C leader. You can shift from being a Plan A, Plan B manager to
To a
Plan C leader. So that operationalization hand holding is there.
already there.
It's
Correct.
almost like I am sitting and talking. You read the book. It's almost like a conversational. The book is talking to you as if Dr. Sanjeev is sitting in that book and having that conversation.
That's very, very helpful. I think, and even a young, fresher, even if they pick up, it's going to be very helpful for them. Coming to the next round, I would say this is like a fun kind of one word answer round we can do.
Sure.
Culture breaks down when leaders dash.
Uh, when leaders are myopic, when they are self-centered and very short-visioned, when they are not leaders, they are managers. I
Okay.
should have made it very interesting. If they are managers,
Yeah, let me take it. Culture breaks down when leaders.
don't believe in it. It's a lip service. It's just a lip service
Most leadership strategies fail because
because the focus is only on strategy, not on culture.
high
Because culture
performance.
eats strategy all three meals, and CEO serve that meal. That's my starting. You can say trigger point of writing this book
Mostly high performances suffer because
because it has got no purpose.
no purpose.
It has got a very very as I said again, very limited purpose of earning salary, promotion. That's it. When it become part of the larger purpose, then the high performance sustained. Discretionary performance, I call it.
Mhm. Right. Organizations avoid culture conversations because
Because they are illiterate about culture. They don't know the essence of what culture means. They are very loosely use, as I said in the beginning of the podcast, they loosely use culture as something which is only talk about, as you said, moral or ethics or limiting understanding as you can say code of conduct.
okay, values become meaningless when
They are not lived in letter and spirit. They are only, as I said, become a talking point during CEO speech or shareholder meetings.
sustainable growth begins when leaders.
Are the champion of the culture or they are the plan C leaders.
This or that author's edition, driving results or shaping behavior.
Shaping behavior and then achieving the results.
Systems and processes or people and mindset.
Building plan C mindset to achieve the sustainable results.
Control or trust.
Trust to ensure that control become the consequence.
Speed or sustainability.
Uh, Sustainability with speed.
Measuring performances or enabling the performances.
enabling performance to ensure that the high performance are measured.
Okay. Next, if every leadership offsite had to start with one question from your book, what should that question be? So let's say today, like, for example, after reading the book, a leader decides, let me have a conversation with my team. So what should be the first question he should discuss amongst themselves?
So two things they should ask. One is, what is our middle line,
Hmm.
and how you would like to define that middle line.
Okay. Interesting. So quite there are many questions which are interrelated to each other once it starts.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely.
Coming to a concluding line, sir, while writing this book, did you realize that organizations have been solving the wrong problem when it comes to performance and culture?
I think the problem lies in the root, and the root is that all these so-called CEOs or boardroom directors or the managers, what kind of you can say upbringing or the you can say education context they have come from.
Mm-hmm.
Never they've been exposed to something called culture. It is mostly I think limited to their experiences, which is very subjective, as I said. There was no objectivity created around culture as a one of the most important, I will say, learning of individual growth. No school talk about culture. No school even talk about values for that matter. It is very limited to values education, moral education, ethics, and all. Again, that same limited understanding with which they grow.
Constructed to working environment.
No, so no, so there is no, as I said, education around culture.
Yes.
So if they are grown as a illiterate to culture, I don't blame them.
Hmm.
This is where the entire starting point today should be, that every school, every management institute, or any professional institute, culture should become a subject. Middle
Correct.
line should become a kind of a important, you can say, uh, experience
Hmm.
where people do a lot of, you can say, introspection, a lot of case studies, a lot of white papers, wherein they should try to connect the dots from the context of how a culture can create a very profitable, sustainable, cash rich enterprise, not vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
That is where you see all the corruption happening. Why? With so much of literacy happening, and so many of educational institutes being open, there are like if you throw a stone, it will fall in a university. So many universities we have in our country.
True.
Irrespective of that, what is growing? Corruption. What is growing is all kind of you can say negative things. If you get into all the data and index, why? And this is not only any country problem. This is a universal problem. This is a global problem.
Yes.
So I think there has to be a kind of a introspection and reflection. All these so-called brainy guys and experienced guys should sit back
Hmm.
and
From a micro level.
huddle together to understand what is the correlation of increased literacy with corruption.
Hmm.
What is the correlation of so many Ivy League people getting into a kind of financial crisis of 2008, right? Why Lehman Brothers vanished.
Hmm.
All from Ivy League people, huh? All top guys. But what they created? Greed. What everything boils down to how much money I can make. as
Correct.
if that is the only purpose, as if that is only the end. And what has happened? The enterprise ended. So
Mm-hmm.
many people lost the job. There is an employment crisis. There is a financial crisis. So what all these Ivy League management education is giving? Crisis, corruption. So high time that we should come out of all these seas of crisis and corruption and focus on sea called culture. And that should be our purpose. That should be our drive. That should be our, I think, unison focus. What kind
Correct.
of culture vision I'm creating? How, what kind of culture mission I'm creating?
Mm.
What kind of culture KPIs I have created?
Culture
What kind of
KPIs very
culture
important.
KPIs I have created? Whether it is part of my performance review rather than only your business targets. Okay, how I need to operationalize my culture vision, how I need to operationalize my culture mission, how I
Correct.
need to operationalize my culture KPIs, how
Mm.
I need to do culture reviews every week, every quarter, like I do business review.
Correct.
So as a plan C leader, I will put culture first, then come strategy, then come execution, and then come the results.
It goes reverse. Plan C, Plan B, Plan A.
Absolutely. That's the CBA or ABC of a healthy, sustainable, inspiring globe, nation, enterprise, startup, and society.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this, new insights or a new way of thinking and learning how you can execute things, how you can plan things. I think it's very important, especially when, things today are so dicey for any upcoming generation. If you talk about healthcare, you talk about employment, you talk about anything, environment, it's very important that we think it from a cohesive and not just an individual level onwards.
It's an anchor. Plan C is an anchor which will give lot of stable stability to the thinking of our young generation, especially the Gen Zs and millennials. It will give them a very, very focused purpose. It will enrich their middle line. It will drive them to achieve a legacy which is better than they got. And I think that will, through Plan C only, we can remove all these other C's like corruption and crisis.
True. Understood, sir. Any last message or last one line that you would like to tell the audience watching this?
Is to really embrace Plan C. Uh, by practice, become champion of Plan C, and then propagate Plan C across their, you can say, area of influence or circle of influence, whether it is their family, whether their team, their organization, their startup, their uh, whatever, in whichever role you are, you can make Plan C very, very, as I said, practical, operational, successful, I will say, model
Hmm.
of happiness, growth, and sustainability.
Intertwined with your daily activities.
Absolutely. Plan C is lived daily. And there is a chapter dedicated to that. How you can achieve your Plan C score.
Quite interesting.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today.
Pleasure,
And
Lidhi. Thanks for making it very, very free flowing, enriching, probing, and thought provoking, I will say,
yes,
session. I enjoyed thoroughly.
same here. I got
I relived my process of churning all the ideas when
mm,
I started this book.
correct.
Uh, and then it took almost 9 to 10 months. It was almost like a delivery of a baby, right?
Mhm.
9 months I took to write this book with a lot of iteration, lot of
Mhm.
you can say changes I made. And thanks to StoryMirror that they kind of publish it in a current form. And still it is
We are
we
still going to get
take
started.
it to the next level now.
Correct,
We want to
correct.
take it to the next level. We want to make it a mission. We want to make it a plan C movement through Story Mirror collaboration.
Honored to be a part of it, and I love the idea where you've given like executionable steps as well. So it's not just theory, but it's more about how you start with it.
And one of the interesting trivia I want to add on here is that Plan C has been accredited by American Institute of Organization Business Psychology as one of the unique, practical, sustainable, novel culture improvement and culture transformation framework. It is also available on their website.
Yes.